Hello everyone, it's Hannah here from Virtually Fluent. Today we're going back to the grammar basics. We're looking at one of the tenses in English. Today we're talking about the present perfect continuous tense. We'll look at the particular uses of this tense and then we'll quickly review the form. So when I draw the present perfect continuous tense on a line, it would probably look something like this. We're kind of connecting the past time to the present. So there are three particular situations we're going to look at today with some examples in this tense. Now the first one is to talk about a really long duration of time that started in the past and has continued up until the present. For example, I have been learning English for 10 years. We've been waiting for the bus for ages, and she's been working at this company for a long time. If we put some of these on a timeline, we can see exactly what they mean. So let's take this example. I've been learning English for 10 years. The present perfect continuous tense tells us that right now this is still happening. It's an unfinished tense. And we know that this activity started 10 years ago. Let's say back in 2009, if it were 2019, and all throughout this time it's been continuing. So this is what the tense can tell us. It will be exactly the same here. We've been waiting for the bus for ages, and really importantly, this is probably going to continue on into the future. We don't necessarily know when this action is going to stop. Now we can also use this tense to talk about temporary situations. So something that you've been doing quite differently to your usual habits, your usual routines in the recent days, the recent times. And this is probably still happening now, although it will stop at some point in the future because it's only temporary. For example, I've been watching the news a lot recently. Lately, I've been doing more exercise, and we've been renovating the house. Here you can see one of these examples on a timeline. Started watching the news recently, it's continuing up until now. And the final situation we would use this tense is to talk about a past event that is having a direct impact on the present time. This is very similar to the present perfect tense. For example, it's been raining all morning, so the garden has flooded. I've been working really hard today, so I'm exhausted now. She's been preparing the dinner all day, but it's ready now. So we've got these long actions that have actually finished, but their impact is on the present, something that we're talking about right now. Here you can see an example on a timeline. It's been raining all morning, but then it stopped. We had a small gap, and right now my garden is flooded. We're talking about a consequence of a past, long-term past action. So now we know the uses of the present perfect continuous tense. Let's research the form, and we're going to start with this example verb to read. So we have our subject, I, you, he, she, it, we, and they, and then we use the expression have been. Remember, this changes to has been in the third person singular, he, she, it. And finally, we have the present participle, which is generally where we add the letters ing to the end of the verb. I have been reading. You have been reading. And it's exactly the same for any kind of verb. She has been traveling. They have been traveling. Now, what we can do in English, because we're pretty lazy, is we can insert contractions. This is when we push two words together to create one short word because it's easier and quicker to say. In this particular tense, we push the subject and that have part of the present perfect continuous tense together. So we're left with I've been traveling, he's been traveling, they've been traveling. Now in the negative, all we do is insert the word not, and think of this a little bit like a sandwich because it is separating the have and the been. So we have not been or has not been. Again, we can contract this, but in the negative, the contraction is between the have and the not part. So that becomes either haven't or hasn't. I haven't been traveling. She hasn't been traveling. When we ask a question, all we do is flip around the order of the words. We can start with our question word, then we have, then our subject, then been, and finally our present participle. And remember, with questions in English, we don't always need a question word. We could simply eliminate that and just ask, have you been traveling? Has she been reading? And if someone does ask us one of these questions without a question word, all we need to respond is what we call a short response. The affirmative short response is yes, plus your subject, plus the verb have. Have you been studying English? Yes, I have. Yes, she has. And in no, it's exactly the same. No, I have not. No, he has not. And we can contract this to no, I haven't. No, they haven't. So hopefully you've learned the correct use and form of the present perfect continuous tense. You can practice this in our grammar course. I've left the link in the description below. If you learned something new, go ahead and give today's video a like. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn those notifications on. I post loads of videos to help you improve and learn your everyday English. And you can also find me across all social media channels too. I've left all those links in the description below. This is Hannah from Virtually Fluent, bringing English to life.